And this episode is sponsored by me. Do you struggle with sleeping, and particularly struggle with light while sleeping? I think it's time you treat yourself to a high-quality sleep mask. I've been using a sleep mask for the past 3 years to help improve my sleep, and I'm so stoked to finally have one that has been created for my own sleeping needs. At Infinity Sleep, all of our sleep masks are lightweight. They completely block out 100% of light and have a 3D design. The 3D design allows you to open and close your eyes freely within the mask, alleviating eye pressure that is normally caused by generic sleep masks. The sleep mask's ergonomic shape conforms perfectly to the contours of your face to ensure no light enters even in the brightest conditions. My business, Infinity Sleep, are now taking email signups for our new graphene sleep masks, and if you sign up, you can receive 50% off your first sleep mask and free shipping if you spend over $100. This promotion is only available for customers based in New Zealand and will only be available for the first 100 sleep masks, so get onto it. The link to the sign-up form is in the podcast description, or you can sign up on our website, www.infinitysleep.co.nz. That's www.infinitysleep.co.nz. And I am here with Antoine Audonnet. Was that right?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Pretty good.
Nailed it. Okay, well, pretty good. Très bien. Comme si, comme ça?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Still got your French?
Still, yeah, I don't think so, but I appreciate the compliment. I'm here with the young filmmaker and producer, Antoine Audonnet. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. So, for anybody who doesn't know who you are, I checked out your 2 short films that you've got out at the moment, the Innominate and the other one, Little Lou, as well. One of the big things I noticed was just the jump in quality to script writing and everything really quickly.
Yeah.
I was quite blown away by how fast from within like a year. Was it within a year?
Yeah, pretty much within a year.
Impressive, man. Because the first one, it was like, when I watch it, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a student film. The acting, of course, is amateur, and I can see a lot of cool little things you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And then Little Lou was definitely like a level up.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what did you learn off the first one to then make Little Lou kind of a bit more seamless and professional?
Well, with the first one, it wasn't supposed to be anything big. We just did it just to see like where it would go. And then obviously we blew up, and a lot of people saw it. A lot of people were disappointed because they expected more. But with it, we got like all the feedback people were criticizing on, what they didn't like, what they wish were in it. And we just kind of like learnt from it and tried to fix it, like everything we can for like future films. So that's kind of like where the improvement is. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think one of the big things I noticed in the second one, in Little Lou, was the camera work. Because you said you're producing, are you doing a bit of everything? Are you directing? Are you producing? Are you doing a bit of coaching for the actors, actresses? What's your part of the process?
So with Little Lou, I just was there to kind of help out. So I wasn't director, Lane Claire was. She was very good. This was like her 4th short film, so she was very like natural with it. And yeah, I was just on set, just trying to help out, trying to give advice as to what didn't work with like Innominate, the first film we did, and just trying to like make it as good as it can be, as well as with the release of it, trying to make it the best it can.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I think that's a great mindset you've got of taking on criticism. Because when I was 15, I wasn't very good at taking people's criticism about personal projects and that, especially when you are so personally invested.
Yeah,
I find that to be hard to then just be like, well, what the fuck do you know, kind of thing. But then it's also like, It's also like people probably know a few more things than me because I was 15 and I didn't know anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think with people, like a lot of people, like I got so much hate with that first film that I did.
I noticed in the comments there was a lot of critical feedback. No, not just
No,
hate.
yeah.
But that can be a lot when you're 15.
I appreciated the critical ones, but it was just like the people that just were there to like troll and I don't know, like try and make me feel bad for like doing something. I don't know.
That's unfortunately life, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop when you get older.
No, yeah, 100%. Didn't stop with Little Lou either. People.
Just a little bit. Yep.
I can definitely handle critical feedback. It's just I don't look at the actual non-feedback that doesn't help at all.
The haters.
The
trolls. The trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of an art form, the old trolling. You done any trolling before?
Probably, to be honest.
You just want to make people mad because it's fun.
But
that's the whole point of trolling.
Yeah, as I've grown up, I think I've just realized that it doesn't bring any good. So why do it?
No. Well, a lot of people do it because I think when you see people pursue, I think, creative passions or something very big. I know a lot of athletes get it as well. You're trying to pursue something that's very significant more than just going through the works of a traditional life. Nothing wrong with it, but I think people are like, "Oh, you can't do that. That's not going to do well. That's going to be hard. I can't do that. What makes you think you can do it if I can't do it?"
Yeah, I mean
that's how a lot of people think.
It kind of just ties into like tall poppy syndrome, really, as well.
Welcome to New Zealand, bro.
Yeah.
What's the Have you been, because you're from France? This should be interesting, actually. Is there much of that mentality in France? Tall poppy syndrome?
No, not really. I mean, people are kind of like closed off in some way, but not as much as like New Zealand and Australia. People are very much like supportive, I guess, in a way of what you do there. Yeah.
You would find that most people, if you had explained, "Oh, I'm trying to do film, trying to do something creative," like, "Oh, interesting." They'd be more
supportive and interested about,
and more positive.
Yeah, more positive.
Even if they're around the same age as you or a little bit older, you wouldn't get someone being like, "Oh, that's not going to work."
No, yeah. I was really like, I never understood it. I was always confused as to like why that was a thing. I guess maybe because it's like a newer country. Like compared to other countries, but yeah, I don't know, it's just there.
Yeah, it's been a common topic on the podcast. A lot of people feel that with anything creative or different that you try and pursue. Often that I think in New Zealand and Australia, even the UK to a point, it's just kind of like people don't. I think in New Zealand specifically, we're a bit more removed, and even Australia, kind of removed from the rest of the world, and we're a lot smaller. And there's kind of this idea that, we don't like people getting too big for their boots.
True.
Which is a big part of the culture, which is bad and good at the same time. There's like...
I mean, it keeps people humbled in a way. But
keeps people humble. It doesn't... People aren't...
Sometimes it pushes people back.
Correct. So that also then means people are, "Oh, I don't want to do that because if everyone's going to judge me and everybody's going to think like negatively or criticize me." But unfortunately, you're going to get that with anything you do. I mean, there's nothing in life... Really, it's pretty hard in life to do anything without being criticized. I mean, and you may as well be criticized for something that you love to do. But because of art, which is all, and I think even with athletes as well, because you're so personally invested, when someone attacks it, it's like attacking like your emotions. So it can be, that's what my experience anyway. I've gotten very good at dealing, I know, these days internet comments make me giggle more than anything else.
No, yeah, 100%.
And when I find insults now, I find it very funny. But when I was your age, I was not very good at dealing with it.
I mean, I used to block them, but now I just let them be because it brings in the engagement.
It does. Well, then it starts working for you.
And, the haters are the biggest fans. So
they are.
Keep them in.
Yeah, I always find that really funny when... Emma from Fan Club, when she was on, your friend, she said that people were phoning her up and like quoting the lyrics back to her, but like prank calling her.
Really?
And I was like, that is such a bizarre hater thing to do.
No, yeah.
Because they've obviously spent time listening to the music or even like for watching your film.
Yeah.
And spent this time to then find the number and then call and then make fun of it. That's so much effort.
It's so weird because even with Little Lou, I know, like it's not the best. Obviously, it could be better, but the improvement from our first one to Little Lou was
massive.
obviously
It was huge.
good.
But
People still found a way to like not like something. I noticed people were like, "Oh well, this movie set in 2002, and there's a magazine from 2003." Like just small stuff. They really like dig into it.
I saw that actually. It was like a 2016 magazine, but I was just
Yeah.
like, you can only do so much.
No, yeah.
Finding a magazine from 22 years ago is a bit
pretty
tricky.
pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually it's really like interesting, like that whole concept of tall poppy syndrome, and yeah.
It is something that I would like to be a bit better in New Zealand, but I think it just comes down to culture, size of the country, and ultimately what you will find surprising is if you continue on, hopefully continue to be successful, especially moving out of New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Everyone will be like, "Oh, Antoine, he's ours, he's from New Zealand." That's generally how this works.
True.
A good example of that, can't remember if I've explained on the podcast before, probably, is Lorde. So she's a classic case of, in New Zealand, I think she made a bit of music, released it. People, I don't know what was told to her when she was younger, but probably nothing.
I mean, she
great.
went to my high school.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Damn.
There's stories about
small
how she used to
world.
have like rotten pears thrown at her while like in
shit.
high school for like just doing music.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, music students aren't cool in school, I'll tell you that. Because I was one. But what I found interesting was as soon as she went over the ditch, well, not to Australia actually, to America, and her song Royal started blowing up, everyone was like, "Oh my god, like New Zealand, we're amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Lorde is ours." But beforehand, there's this part which is like very hypocritical. It's like, well, you didn't do anything in the beginning. Like you were hating and people were like not sure about it and judging. So that's always something I've laughed at ever since, seeing things like that. Happens in sport as well, like with the All Blacks, as soon as we lose, it's like
Yeah.
they're the worst team that's ever existed.
yeah.
Never mind winning like 4 World Cups or something. Unfortunately, bro, it's just where we are. So you just have to learn how to deal with it. But it sounds like you've got a good mentality. So I think just, I think also just trying to be a bit more empathetic. That's what I find is another good thing
I mean,
to do.
with stuff like that, like anyone can like make a film. Anyone can, I don't know, be a musician. But like, it's actually that step of like overcoming that. You have to actually get out there and put yourself out there, which is not a very easy thing for many to do. Which is why I think a lot of people either criticize it or just don't do it. Yeah, I think that's where it mainly comes from. I think
It's also just want to be good at things straight away.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I think now more than ever, because of just instant access, instantaneous satisfaction from, using phone or access to media, we just get such hits from doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so trying to learn a skill, like how to use a camera properly, or how to record audio properly, or play an instrument, or if it's how to write a script. Writing scripts are hard. Writing a script is not easy.
definitely.
So, and your first 10 might be really crap, but that's not to say you shouldn't keep writing scripts. Just means you get better with each one. You get better with each one. You get better and better. So I think it's just that beginning part, you have to be able to like fight off and sort of be like, have a bit of tunnel vision
Yeah.
to sort of drive yourself to achieving what you really, seeing the end goal and being like, nah, there's gonna be something great in here. I just need to like keep going, because otherwise you're letting other people's noise get in the way, and
100%.
it's not really going to be that. But the critical feedback, you always got to, if people spend the time to give you like critical
Good
feedback and like say
yeah.
like, this isn't working, that's not great, maybe you should consider this. Always listen to
It's
that.
definitely helpful and useful. Yeah, the critical feedback.
All right, man. Well, what was the reason for starting film? What got you into wanting to make films?
Well, it came from a pretty early age. I must have been around 7.
Wow.
And I just always liked, like I started off with acting mainly. For years, I just wanted to be an actor. And then slowly after that, with Unobtrusive Films especially, because I wasn't signed with any agency at the time, and obviously I wasn't booking anything because of it, I just wanted to get like a foot in the door already. So that's how I kind of just started doing filmmaking mainly, just wanting to actually create something and gather people that are also interested in the same thing. Yeah, that's mainly where it came from.
And so acting was the part. Would you like to do more acting?
I mean, it's something I think about a lot recently, especially because I'm getting signed to an agency really soon.
Woohoo! Congrats.
But I definitely would want to do it for the networking part. It's a very easy way to just get in that industry fast. And then, but I'm mainly just interested in directing, producing. Yeah.
Yeah, directing and produce like that. You have to know a little bit about everything. So have you done like a bit of everything, like cameras? Have you done a bit of post production stuff? I mean, you've done short, so I imagine you've done like a lot of things on your own.
Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely worked in like just doing boom operating for a bit. I find producing really hard. I mean,
It's tough.
especially like if you're just starting out. It's you have to do it. I mean, there's no one else that's gonna help you out. So like doing directing and producing. So yeah, so you just have to like do it and see where it goes. Directing, I'd say, is probably one of the easiest like parts to do. Script writing is so difficult.
Being a writer is hard.
Yeah. It's so like you have to, make a story, create a whole concept, everything around it. It's a lot of work, and people don't really like think about the amount of work that goes into it, which is
There's a lot of one of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr. He always mentions that the most unappreciated people in show business are writers. They never get the respect they deserve.
No, yeah, it's actually crazy because like you'll see like a really good film, and then no one looks at the credit of who actually made the film. Because sure, like someone directed it, someone produced it, but like someone had to write it to actually become something, and no one pays attention to that.
And script, and also trying to translate a script into real life.
Yeah,
Because on paper, something might read well or might read in a certain way, but then you get in like a writer's... Oh, no, I guess it would be like the beginning of like, what's it called with all the actors and come together? Reading room? That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be completely different. So then that's something you got to like make adjustments because some things might not work off paper to then speech.
It has to come off natural, obviously.
And that's the other thing. And then does the actor-actress fit? Like, then you got to do all that process. And yeah, I've dabbled myself in a little bit of like, I made a few short films when I was younger, and I used to work in events and that. And then I was like, oh, fuck, it's too much work. Doing film and the hours. I mean, doing events was a lot of hours, but film was similar. And I was like, it's not for me. But I'm always like pretty amazed. People like, do that, 18 plus hour days, sleep for a few, go back to it.
Yeah.
3 months, 4 months of that, depending on what the movie or the show is. And something else that I've done a bit of, actually I was going to ask you, so you've done a bit of every role. So in your opinion, you'd say the producing is the hardest part?
Yeah.
Out of everything? Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have to get people together. You have to figure out the scheduling. If you borrow equipment, you obviously have to make sure you have enough time to use it for whatever scene, trying to figure out how long a scene will take to film. I mean, it's all about like timing and just
logistics.
You have to like organize everything from start to finish, which is, it's not, I think it is the hardest job in filmmaking, definitely. Other than directing, in my opinion.
Post-production, have you done much of that?
Yeah, that's also a very hard one.
Very technical part, eh? It's like...
Yeah, I mean, you have to know, like, color grading, everything.
I
Like,
hate color grading.
I can't do it. But
I can barely do it.
I usually get people to do it.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair. Yeah. I've done, like, when I was at Sound School years ago, I did, like, a bit of, like, Foley and that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like, that was cool, but that's another art. That's a whole nother art of trying to make everything sound like when people walk on from like concrete to marble, or like people shuffling their jacket. It's cool, but that's another whole like world of audio, and then like re-recording all the lines, because most audio that gets recorded on set, you have to redo it. Then you got that thing that needs to match.
That's something we had to do a lot with Little Lou, because one of the mics just stopped working for a day. So we had to just get all the actors in again and just dub everything over.
Yeah, I think I noticed that, and I think I noticed like, if I'm being critical, like one audio part that was inconsistent.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which scene it was in, top of my head, but I remember listening and being like, oh, okay, sounds like something might have happened.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, the young girls who were on it were really good.
They were amazing. Yeah.
They were incredibly professional, and I believed it.
No, yeah.
If I'm being critical, the dad, not that much. That's my opinion, though.
No, yeah.
But everyone else, even the stepmom, yeah, and the boyfriend, yeah, I like pretty much believed everybody.
Yeah.
I think just, yeah.
I mean,
And
it was
that's
an
my
interesting concept. Like the whole theme of it, I found really interesting when I first read the script from Lane. Just like the themes of like abuse and isolation, like just that whole concept of your childhood kind of being taken away from you. Through obviously not great of a dad. Yeah, it was an interesting storyline. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very real. I mean, it's a very real situation.
It's pretty real.
It's like slice of life kind of film. I watched that, and even I remember knew a couple of people growing up who lived out on like in isolated places, like rural areas, and it can be not like abusive, but I think life is quite different when you compare like suburban city life. Then you're on your own on a property
100%,
with like 100 acres of land, and there's no one there apart from you and your family, and hopefully people are sane.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, I mean, yeah, just...
I mean, living in towns like that also, like, everyone knows your gossip, everyone knows everything.
Different problems. Different problems in different places. Personally, I love the suburbs. That's I've lived in the city. I've done a stint of working in like rural, and I liked it, but it's just a bit too far for things. I like a little convenience, but I'm sort of, and I grew up in the suburbs. It's kind of what you grew up with, though. Are you living in the suburbs?
What's the suburbs?
Suburbs is like, well, where I am, it's just sort of like houses next to each other, and like you're not like in like city landscape skyscrapers. You know, you're kind of in like more of like a housing block.
I mean, I kind of live between like rural and suburby. It's definitely very far away from everything. Your close, my closest supermarket is like around 15 minutes away from the house.
That's all right.
So yeah, I mean, there's some things.
Some things are convenient.
Yeah,
but a little bit of extra effort.
No, yeah.
To get some necessities, maybe, you know. Interesting. What is your favorite film genre? You got a favorite?
Recently, I've noticed to start like seeing a pattern in the films I'm liking a lot, and that's mainly psychedelic, psychological films, kind of. The Holy Mountain I watched recently.
I haven't seen it.
1973. It's like such a good movie. No one knows it though. Like obviously people know it, but it doesn't get talked about enough. It's kind of like Midsummer. I think Midsummer kind of got inspired by that film.
Right.
But yeah, that kind of genre of film like Midsummer. Saltburn was really good as well.
You have to link me. don't know them.
Saltburn and Midsummer A23 films. So yeah, indie films I think are what I like the most. You watch like a lot of modern films and then you kind of just realize there's like a pattern of them, they just miss something.
Unfortunately, I will chime in and say I didn't used to always be that way. But I think from what I can tell is because, you know, with everything from pirating and, you know, streaming, and movies are still popular, like going to the movies, but the game has changed just so much compared to the classic way of like, well, the only way you're going to be able to see a movie is going to the movies. Whereas now you can probably find like a pirated version, or you can find something online, or people just wait till it goes online and it streams anyway. And generally what, especially Hollywood do, they're just trying to get, you know, get a box office hit. And I think with like the rise of YouTube and a lot of solo film creators, if you really want to find some of the films you probably enjoy in some of the indie films, a lot of them people make themselves and can upload to YouTube or on those platforms. Getting it in a movie theater, unless you hire one or something, you probably, it's going to be hard to get it to like, a high level, like to showcase to people,
Yeah.
But like, I guess my point is now Hollywood is just trying to rely on the old trusty franchises. I mean,
reusing storylines is something
or just how many
definitely do.
Marvel films can you make? I mean, it's just ridiculous. How many Marvel films to Disney shows? I mean, it's just milked to shit. It's just,
And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that like
it's getting so saturated.
There is that like the miss of like that individuality of films and that the creative mindset of it, not just for it to be a blockbuster film, like making it for the money, but actually making it out of like love and putting like effort into it.
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
Of course, but that's the thing is like, unfortunately, like with box office, Hollywood is looking, it's a business at the end of the day. So they're looking for profit. And same with music, same thing. Like that's why it's hard to find, if you want to find, there's so much music. That's the other thing as well with film and music. There's so much content out there. There's so much. It's probably a short film being uploaded every day to YouTube or more. And music is like, I can't remember how many songs on Spotify every day, but it's something insane. So it's like trying to filter through all of this crap, trying to find the good stuff. So it's great that everybody can make art and can release it in some way, but to be able to find the quality, it can be quite tough. And then also for then you to stand out from how many other indie filmmakers, or how do you stand out from other artists? That's another whole thing. Whereas I think before, especially with like the classic model, I don't know about film as much, but I know with music it was like with a label would you go out and play enough and you put in the work and labels will eventually come. I'm not saying it's easy as that, but it's kind of how it would work. Whereas now, like, my gosh, if you want to be picked up by the industry, you need like 100,000 followers on Instagram. You need like 1 million plays, probably minimum on Spotify.
It's crazy.
Like, that's like, why the hell do you need a label then? But that's kind of the world we're in now, like you got to already be a functional running business or brand essentially before you get funding or help from the higher up industry.
Obviously, anyone can put stuff out there nowadays, so it's a very big. You gotta compete with a lot of people, so it's not. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. Especially, I reckon, especially in recent years, just the last 5-ish years, with the rise of social media becoming bigger. TikTok, obviously, we've got TikTok singers.
TikTok
now.
changed the game. TikTok changed everything.
Yeah, TikTok songs, TikTok singers.
Yeah. TikTok changed short form video.
No, attention span. Yeah, as well.
Not just that, but how you create content to it. Like I looked into it a lot because, well, I mean, I've been on Facebook a long time. I've been on Facebook, since 2008. So,
wow.
Is that when you were born?
Yeah, 2009 actually.
Oh damn, bro. Well, I've been on Facebook since then, and that's also very interesting. Is I guess because I've been around, bro, before social media. It's really interesting to like see how it's become so integrated in everyone's lives. Because before, like, it used to just be, I mean, it was like MSN and like people had like a Bebo, and then like Facebook came, and then that started. People were on that more, but it was still just like for younger people. You kind of go on there and post something stupid. You talk to your friends. Was there Messenger back then? Can't even remember. I can't even remember, but I just remember you'd post on people's walls, you'd say some stupid shit, and then you'd upload a photo of like a party, and that was pretty much Facebook. Yeah. There wasn't really much more to it. It wasn't a brand building platform. It was just a bunch of like kids. Yeah. Same with YouTube. Early YouTube, exactly the same. YouTube was just like a bunch of like people making silly videos. I mean, the biggest video on YouTube for a while was this guy doing different dance moves. Evolution of Dance. Really? If you ever saw that. Nope. Classic. Check out some classic YouTube, bro. It was a very different.
I mean, I know like the OG YouTubers like Trisha Paytas, David Dobrik.
Oh, okay. I don't actually know those ones.
Yeah, that's like kind of it.
True. Because They used, because then they're like, have you heard of Smash? Smash?
No.
Damn, bro. Well, anyway, that was like the OGs of again, making silly videos for fun. And then Google bought YouTube 2010. Can't remember now. But then they bought it, and then it became like, oh, this is a platform where now you can make a career out of it, which was just insane. That was ridiculous. And then suddenly, no one took social media serious for a very long time, until the mid-2010s, roughly. And then people started seeing it as a way to make money and build a brand. And, you know, now if you're a brand without social media, you're an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, and then watching how all the platforms evolve. And then TikTok changed everything. And that was something I realized when I started releasing stuff. And then TikTok came. And I think around that time, I didn't pay attention much to social media. And then TikTok came. And then I started posting how I used to post 5 years ago. Like, oh, why is nothing really like hitting? And I'm like, right, this is what you have to do now.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, the jump from like that TikTok brought with everything. Just, it's so much calculated, everything you have to do.
It's very calculated. It's tiring.
Hashtags, everything. Like, you've got to keep people's attentions as well, because everyone's attention spans is quite low. With TikTok. And yeah, it's something you have to really like kind of, you've got to know it to do it, kind of. You've got to like actually look into it, and for a while to actually have something that works. And that's what I found with Unobtrusive Films when we first started posting.
Yeah, your film production.
Obviously,
tell me about that. Your film production company.
So I started it in January 2023, so last year.
Very cool.
And on my main account, I had around maybe 12,000 followers already. And I just posted
so many people for like, what, how old are you, 13?
Yeah, 13.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And I just posted a video like, hey, anyone in Auckland want to like make a film? And then obviously got some DMs, some comments, and just gathered some people for that. And then after that, just started posting on TikTok when we started having an idea. And when we started filming, I would post like BTS footage, and I know people love that, because like, you just, anyone's interested in how a film is made. So people would just like look at it, and then it just blew up overnight. I mean, yeah, 2 million views overnight, which later grew to like 13 million views overall on the whole Innominate era. Yeah, it was pretty insane.
Damn, that's very impressive. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of like people to follow you at such a young age. Holy crap, I can't imagine that. Wow.
But I feel like it's such a normalized thing that it's not really that impressive.
I guess maybe it's impressive to me, but it's like, yeah, I guess for you, like for your generation, it's just like, if you got less than 1,000, it's like, who are you?
No, yeah. I mean, I've definitely had my moments of people just being like surprised that I'm me. Like I'll be walking in the city, and then someone will like recognize me, and I find that pretty weird. But like they're not that impressed, and I'm not that impressed, because it is something I think it maybe Auckland especially, everyone knows each other.
Yeah, it's a small world.
It's not that big of a deal. But internationally, I'll reply back to a comment, and then they'll be really surprised that I replied back. I can see all my comments. It's not that hard. I mean, I barely get any. It's a really interesting concept. I think it ties back into tall poppy syndrome, because not many people like care about like celebrities. I've noticed in New Zealand. I mean, when Jack Black was around, he would walk around the CBD, for the Minecraft movie, and no one cared. Like, he'd take photos with people, but no one like.
Yeah, that's kind of like what's nice about it. That's what's nice about New Zealand.
Yeah, I think that's why celebrities love New Zealand so much, is you can actually just do anything and no one cares about it.
This is when tall poppy syndrome's good, because people are like, oh, don't want to bother you.
No, yeah.
You know? We don't like doing that, because we don't like getting each other's space. A big one for this, actually, changing the sort of setting, is when it comes to shopping. So in New Zealand, like customer service, generally I think our customer service I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
People, you go into a shop, people are like, hey, do you want a hand? You're like, nah, I'm just looking. And people are like, cool. And then if you need help, you can just go ask for it and you're left alone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a very like Australia, New Zealand thing. I don't know about France. I haven't shopped in France.
Definitely.
But I went to the States and oh my gosh. Because they're just looking for tips, right?
Yeah.
And they just won't leave you alone.
They just keep following you.
Americans want like, and I think the Chinese do this as well. You want the shopping experience, whereas us Kiwis and Aussies,
We just want our
like,
stuff.
Yeah, we just like leave us alone.
Yeah.
Same with restaurants, and same thing. That's one thing I really didn't like about it was that I'm now in charge of paying someone's salary.
Oh yeah.
Because
I hate the thought of that.
It's like the whole tipping culture.
Because like in New
you
Zealand,
get a terrible wage. And
Yeah.
then you rely on you have to now kiss my ass to get lots of tips and you won't leave me alone. And I really hate that. But I feel like I understand why, but I don't like it. But I'm just stuck in this awkward position being like, you know, this is annoying. I
Yeah.
don't actually like this service. So I actually paid people to leave me alone.
I mean, I just love the fact that you can just go into a store in New Zealand and just you see a price, you buy it, and that's what you buy it for. That's
that's
it.
the price. Yeah, there's no tax, there's no extra
It's
bits on
such
it.
a weird concept that like in America you have to tip, and like depending on how much you tip someone's salary, that's how much of a asshole you are or not. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's such a like messed up system. I think to like have to do that. Just pay your workers. You know.
And good customer service should just be expected. Like you should.
No, yeah, 100%.
Like doesn't need to be
it is your work.
groundbreaking customer service. It just needs to be like just don't be a
Decency.
dick.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. But some
100%.
people, yeah. But I will have to say, bro, if we're gonna be honest on here, I have been to France. I have been to Paris. The customer service was not good, but that was just Paris.
Really? How was your experience there?
That was just Paris, though.
Oh yeah, true.
I feel like when I mention Paris to other French people, they're like, yeah.
That's just Paris. No,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
the rest of France, if I meet people from anywhere else in France, they're all lovely. They're all very nice.
I mean, I think Paris is just kind of tired of the tourists, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just also so many immigrants there is in Paris. Yeah, so I can imagine. I can understand some people, but it's also like if you work at a restaurant and you're in a touristy area and you're earning lots of money,
No, yeah,
stop being a dick.
definitely.
Because I had that a few times, just bad attitudes and that. But when like I said, outside of Paris, and I've been with
Yeah.
other people. At my gym, I've been with some people from more countryside of France, and they're very lovely. Mm-hmm. And they all have the same gripes with Paris. They say like it's a different country. That's what they say. Other
Yeah.
French people. Whereabouts are you from in France?
I'm kind of from Bordeaux,
Bordeaux.
so but more the seaside of it. So I lived in a very small town, around 15,000 people.
Oh wow, very small. That's very small for France. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of just where I grew up for 7 years before coming here.
Do you remember much of it?
Yeah, I just remembered I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
yeah.
Too small.
Yeah, and just like
Even when you were that age, you felt it was
yeah,
too small.
it was very much. This is all I knew. And then I came here and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of people here. Haven't heard that one, but I understand coming from a small
yeah.
French town. But that's funny coming from France, being like, "Wow, New Zealand's
Like I
huge."
just thought that my small town was just it. Like
That was
it.
it. That was
I didn't know
nothing.
there was other things.
Yeah. How come your folks wanted to come to New Zealand?
So my dad's worked for the same company for like 40 years, something like that.
Okay.
And he got the opportunity to come here with the same company. And so yeah, that's just how we came here through him. He was like a
work.
talent worker or something.
Okay.
In the way that like he was brought over because he like knew stuff to like help out with the New Zealand branch of the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, cool. Yeah, from small town France to New Zealand. Interesting.
It's quite a jump, yeah.
Yeah. More like it would be the opposite though. Because you're like, wow, New Zealand's big. Most people would say the complete
Oh
opposite.
no, yeah. Now I'm like New Zealand's small.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very, very
I want to
small.
leave
Yeah.
with my next job. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in film. So unfortunate because in New Zealand we do have amazing
Industry.
but it is just too small. It's very hard to
But
get.
it's definitely there. It's just
It's there.
I don't. Yeah, it's just not there, but it is.
Well, one of the things, I can't speak as much for film, but I know within like the music industry, if you want to get into certain roles, could be within anything, not so much being a musician, but maybe more like you're a producer or kind of in the more technical side or like people just kind of stay in these jobs.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to then try and take them because people don't leave those roles. So, and there's only a very limited amount of them. So that's kind of the problem with New Zealand. Well, with New Zealand, with a lot of things, but especially in the entertainment industry. And it's also, it is competitive. You know, it's been film. You've got what? You've got SAE. You've got South Seas. I mean, when you eventually leave school, there's all these all these like diplomas and degrees you can do, and they're already very, there's quite a few people doing them. And then it's like, well, from there, how do I then get my foot in the door? But you've already started, so
no, yeah, because I mean
bro.
that
Well
is
done.
something I have to think about a lot now because I am kind of nearing off my high school years, and I have to think of like,
Damn,
am
bro, when
I
I was
going?
15, I was not thinking about that.
Well, I am. I'm very young for my year, which is really annoying, but also kind of cool.
The underdog.
So I'll be graduated at around 17 from my high school.
So
But
you're in year 11 right now?
11, yeah. So
Year 11.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with the year because of the exams. But yeah, it is that thought of like, if I go to uni, it is a lot of money, and then obviously you have to like actually find a job afterwards, which is not easy.
Yeah.
Obviously you'll have learnt stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of people say that in the film industry, the going to university is like a scam. That's what I hear a lot. I don't know, to be honest, but
There's a discussion I've had with a lot of people around universities and degrees. I don't know how. I imagine it's probably the same from when I was growing up of how they talk about university at school, even now. Do they sort of tell you, like, you need to go to university after school to get a job? Is that still kind of the conversation from teachers?
well, with me, they know what I do, so they kind of already are aware that I'm already doing something to get to where I want to be.
Yeah. What would you say in general?
In general, yeah, definitely.
People are still finish school and get into university.
It is
or
like
get this certification.
people definitely still like praise university as if it is something like, if you don't go, you're never going to survive. You're going to die, kind of thing. Yeah.
So they still do that. That's so bad.
No, yeah.
It's bad. If you're okay,
and even that still goes to like students as well. I mean, I tell like peers at school, like, I don't know, I might not go to uni, and they're like, what the hell? You're gonna be? I can't
believe that's still the mentality today. That's crazy.
It is.
That is pretty crazy to me. Because I thought, well, not that I thought, but yeah, well, because when I was in school, it was like, it was like uni or nothing essentially. If you really want my 2 cents on it, I think with film, if you're gonna go and do something, I'd probably use it as an opportunity to like networking almost.
No, yeah, that's what I think about it when I think of going to university, because networking will definitely be a good part to it.
You also meet people who can do things that you can't do well.
Yeah.
That's the other great thing about it. You meet like-minded individuals. You might find that you find something within the course that you didn't think about that you want to try and pursue. But yeah, doing like a 3-year degree in film, nah, I wouldn't bother doing that.
Yeah.
I'd probably do like a diploma or a certification. Having something is always good. And then especially if you go to one of those like, I guess there's a few. Like there's South Seas, then there's like media design school, and then like SAE, and I think there's a few others. I think the unis do them. Like you kind of just figure out like which one will best fit what you want, but then kind of read about what the course is and what's in the course. How long is it? Is it something you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean that is something with like these industries. It is definitely mainly a huge part of it is just the networking. You just have to know people. You have to know people that know people, and then know those people.
Yep.
And just try and get yourself known and appreciated.
What's weird now, I think more than before, which you're already doing, which is pretty amazing, is the personal branding. Because personal brand now is like its own. It's like its own, its own skill set in terms of having power with your name. Because even like, I can't believe like LinkedIn's become like this. Like, there's people coin the term LinkedIn influencer, which I just laugh. But it's true. People get
Yeah.
jobs because they're active on LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
or they're active messaging people. And, I work in marketing, so I kind of see a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it does. People get jobs because of it. Just because they're posting and they're active.
100%.
You could have a good CV, but if you look very minimal on... I'm not saying you need to post all the time on LinkedIn, but it just the people who are
Yeah.
will have more opportunities.
I mean, yeah, you just have to be, like, in my situation with Unobtrusive Films, I've noticed, because for a year I just wasn't active, because obviously I was working... I'm currently working on 2 stuff at the moment, but between that period of time where I wasn't active to where I was, a lot of people, they get uninterested, they unfollow you, and that's just trying to keep that engagement and that... people actually knowing
crazy,
you. It's a lot of work. Yeah,
It's crazy though, right? Because
No, yeah.
it's just your name.
Yeah, it's just my name.
Yeah, it's just your name. It's just like a personal account.
Yeah.
But you obviously, created something pretty big off it. But it's very weird. But it's the world that we're in. Like personal branding means so much, and will
It
get
does,
you a
yeah.
lot of the foot in the door. But you guys are kind of cottoning onto that. I've had to kind of, my generation, because I'm fucking so old. Not really, but we had to kind of like learn that. It's just like like having a good CV and having experience. Obviously, yes, it's valid, but having a bit of a following here and there and having
it
a bit of
definitely helps,
adds a
yeah.
lot of value. So it's so weird. But I don't know. I think going back to the university thing in school, I think in a perfect world, I really would. I mean, because it's all about money at the end of the day. Like pushing
Yeah.
students to go university to then fund, and then people get in
It's
debt,
just-
and
it is
it's
just
the
for
cycle.
them
I
to
think
get
you
money.
guys are much more aware of that, and that's very like obvious. It's like
I
when we
mean-
go into university, you screw around for
Yeah.
5 years. Because do you have older siblings by any chance?
I have one older sister.
How old is she?
23. She
True.
just turned 23 on the 9th of September.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her experience is, but I'm sure she knows people who went to university
Yeah.
and did like 4 or 5 years or maybe more and didn't really get anything done.
She does, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you've wasted tens of thousands of dollars. Well, it depends if you think about it, wasted tens of thousands of dollars or more. Hopefully not $100,000, but it's more like, well, what did you come out with? I mean, it's fun to party and drink and shit. Like, I did all that stuff. It's fun. But then it's like, well, now I've got all this debt and, like, what have I really done? Have I got anything out of it to where I want to go? Or did I meet the people? It depends on what your priorities are. Because if you want to go to uni and have a good time, like, that's fine. But unfortunately, that's an expensive good time. But
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely annoying that people still think like that, because I don't think it's not that big of a deal going to uni or not.
no.
I mean, most especially most filmmakers, they don't go to uni.
Nah, you just do it. You just do the
You
thing.
just do it.
You
You
do
just
the
pick
thing.
up a camera,
You just do the
film
thing.
something. Yeah.
Because I think I think apart from, in my opinion, engineering, medical, law, potentially some other sort of specifics, I don't really think you need a degree for most things in life.
Yeah.
Certainly not for business and stuff. Even in my industry, like, I've looked over CVs and stuff now, which is really weird for me to say that, but I have. And I've been like, okay, you've got a qualification, but you've done nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, and
You
that's
need,
and
you
that
need
and
the
that's
experience.
you need the experience and like interning and all of that. Because what all the qualification really tells an employer or somebody is that you completed a certification, that you turned up to class and you did it. That's all it really says. What did you really learn in there that's relevant to the business or relevant to the production or relevant to whatever the industry is? So, yeah, that's how I think about it anyway. But I do find it funny now. Like, well, I suppose the teachers at your school are my age. That's also pretty funny. I can't imagine that, but I suppose that is the case. So I just would think like, them telling like everyone has to go to uni. But I wonder if that's them actually saying that or just the school system forcing them to say it. Food for thought.
Good thing. Good thought, because teachers work for the government. The government runs universities.
They do.
Brings in money. So who knows?
It's all connected. Look at you, bro. 15 years old. I'm impressed, man. Wow. What was I doing at 15? I was trying to learn guitar. That's what I was trying to do. I had a
played the guitar for like
I had a
3
YouTube
months.
account. I had a YouTube account.
Really?
It's real cringe, man. I wish I still had it though. I kind of like regret, you know, I deleted these videos that were really embarrassing at the time, but now I'm like, I wish I kept them.
Yeah,
I feel ashamed about
I feel
that.
like with embarrassing stuff, so many people like you have to like get through that phase of doing something cringe and
Yeah.
embarrassing to
Very
like,
true.
to become like good, like depending on what you do. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had many stages of cringiness
Embarrassment.
and yeah.
Especially uploading things online and everyone gets to see it.
No, yeah, but it's definitely made me like the way I am, and I'm very grateful for that because you got to have that experience, you know, builds character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, falling down a lot and learning.
Yeah,
It's funny, though. It's good. Bro, it's good. I think you set yourself up real well for the rest of your life in that way because you're just... The great thing is because also in film, you always have to learn new things. That doesn't stop. And I think what I've found is like the learning never stops.
yeah,
You can choose to stop learning, which a lot of people do when they get
Definitely.
older, but that's a problem because you're going to miss out on a lot of good knowledge or little things that will actually help you so much in the future. So it's great that you got the mentality, bro. I hope you keep it up. It's not easy, but I hope you
Yeah.
do because even when you get to, well, hopefully when you finish high school and you know do your things and pursue things more full time, then you'll realize you're gonna have to kind of fail more.
yeah. I mean, I definitely hope I can pursue it because I can't imagine myself doing anything other than.
I hate
in
to
the
sound like
film
your mum,
industry.
but you probably do need a backup option.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, it's also hard for me to say that because with social media, and you do very well, I imagine there's a lot of opportunities just within that.
yeah,
So, I mean, hey, be a social media coordinator or something. Hey, that's a very demanding job these days.
social media marketing.
Social media marketing. Seriously, bro. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm still so funny. I find that like, that's a job. But you just have someone's brands posting and you just, that's your job.
You get paid
But
for just
you
being
get
on
paid.
the phone.
Yeah, you just get paid being on the phone, taking little videos and
Yeah.
that, while promoting something hopefully interesting, but most likely just like some finance business or something. But hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Tell me about your modeling. When did that happen?
I mean, I'm not exactly like a model.
I know, I saw the
just,
photos on Instagram. Is that just aesthetic?
That's just like a status.
Aesthetic. Oh, okay.
I mean, I was in an agency for a year. Very most terrible experience. I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
But
It just wasn't good.
it just wasn't good. So I left.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and even it was hard for me to leave. Just contract wise, you always have to read your contracts because
Yeah, yep.
it's not a good thing. But I just dabble here and there in photo shoots. Yeah,
Nice. You done any like stock photos?
nah. I mean, that'd be pretty funny though.
The stock photo shoots.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised how many people. I mean, I've used them, like for stuff. You know, look on like I don't know, Canva, or you go on Adobe, and then you go like through like stock photos. I mean, they're really important for a lot of businesses. You're like
True.
trying to find something real specific. Maybe you could do that. Side hustle.
yeah.
Stock photo shoots.
I mean, that is something I really want to maybe get into more. It is fun to just have photos taken of you.
like being in front of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're confident about it. It's pretty easy.
Damn, nice confidence.
But yeah, you obviously have to look good.
Don't want any of those ugly people.
But not just good, you have to look perfect.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
being actually signed to a modeling agency, you have, I mean,
We got Photoshop, bro. It's all good.
True.
Do up those blemishes.
Facetune.
Yeah. It's all good.
um,
Just color, just get out, for a few of those, if it's like a few pimples
Blemishes,
or a few
yeah.
blemishes, get the wrinkles out.
definitely.
All good.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
It's kind of it, really, with the modeling. That's fair, bro. Yeah. I remember I tried to get into it at one point, and it was very unsuccessful, which I'm very thankful for. But I
How
remember,
come?
well, because I just like thought to myself, like, I got a few photos, had a few people, because I just was, I don't know, I think I was like 20 or something, and someone was like, you could try it, and I was like, oh yeah, take some photos.
Yeah.
And I looked very cute, but unfortunately, people were just like, nah, not really what we're looking for. And I'm like, oh, that's fair. But I was like, is that an easy way to make money? But then, when I used to work in events, I worked on Fashion Week when that was a thing. And that was down in the Viaduct. And I saw what the models had to go through and all the runway stuff. And I'm like, I think that's not for me.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are aware of what models have to like go through.
It doesn't look fun or nice.
It's a very dark place in mind and physically.
Everyone's like bulimic. That's just what I imagine.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Which is
everyone
horrible.
has eating disorders. Everyone,
Yeah, just so obsessed. I feel like but I don't know if that's been like exacerbated now because of social media. Like you got the modeling industry, and you've got social media, so now you've got to like worry about all that. Crazy.
I mean, before celebrities all they had to worry about was just paparazzi, but now you have people with a phone 24/7.
Everyone's the paparazzi now.
Everyone's a paparazzi. Everyone promotes you. Yeah, taking a photo of you is like free marketing nowadays.
For better or worse.
Yeah, for better or the worse. Crazy.
Well, what's a photo you've had? Have you had any bad paparazzi photos? Or so someone try to take a photo of you and you smack their phone out the way?
Actually, that's a very interesting thing to say because at school, I used to have people like come up to me as to try and make fun of me, and be like, Antoine, take a photo with me. And it's like I know it's a joke, but it's so annoying. Like,
right,
because like they're making fun of you, so it's like, it's not fun.
Nah, I think everything being on camera, like everything, like just everything. Everyone can just pull out and do like a 4K video. Like that is
that's crazy. Yeah,
that is wild that you can. Do
it's not a fun thing. I think people are way too. And I'm saying this, but I'm a victim of it too. People are way too attached to their phones.
Oh yeah, I am.
And,
I am. Yeah.
Recently, actually, with the new phone ban from the government in schools, it's actually changed a little. I find that to be like kind of good. I still use my phone in school, like
rebel.
But
What a rebel.
only like sometimes, but it's definitely made people more social. I've noticed people talk more.
Well, definitely, because no one's just scrolling on their phone, just getting sucked into videos and dopamine.
I think
crashes.
Yeah, people just need to socialize a bit more. Get out, touch grass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy just to get sucked into your own world.
Definitely.
So everything's so curated to the individual.
Yeah, I mean, and it is like just a perfect world. You like make your own perfect bubble, and sometimes, like especially if you've got other things outside, it's so easy to just get trapped in there and just being stuck in a loop of endlessly scrolling, just seeing everything as being perfect. Yeah.
The world is not perfect.
No, yeah.
But we have AI, so, there's also, we can also make new fake worlds, actually.
True.
Put the AI chips inside robots, and then you only have to hang out with people who agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
What a great world.
It's crazy. I always see those videos of, like, ChatGPT, like, people pranking ChatGPT, and it's so weird. Like, they're asking him, like, if he's real, and he, like, it's so, like... They want like a Matrix type answer, and it's so.
Yeah. Have you seen iRobot?
No.
Oh, it's so weird saying it's an old movie, but it is an old movie. It came out. It was with Will Smith quite a while ago. Okay. But that's touches on the ideas of like AI and robots and having personalities and thinking. Yeah, it gets a bit crazy. But yeah, obviously the Matrix taps into all that subject. The machine runs everything, Definitely. Which is and that's the thing with like automation now as well. Like everything is it becomes so much,
and at the same time,
the world of being automated, then suddenly nothing is like has a human touch.
At the same time, like life imitates art, so a lot of the things that you see in movies are gonna be like people are gonna try and recreate them. People are gonna try and like naturally, it's gonna come about. Which I think is a very interesting concept because it happens so much. We're just you see things in books or in films, and it just slowly like you see hints of it in real life. And it's that's just like a weird thing, but it's very much real.
Have you read I don't know if you heard the book called 1984 by George Orwell.
I have no. I know George Orwell.
Oh,
but
cool. Yeah. Check it out.
Okay.
That talks a lot about like surveillance state.
Okay.
But this is written like 40, 50 years ago.
Is he the one that wrote Animal Farm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You read that?
Yeah.
It's great, eh? Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing
pretty good
Yeah.
book.
If you like that, check that out.
Okay. What's it called?
1984.
Okay.
Yeah, check that out because that touches on a lot of like, if you're interested, like, it sounds like you're quite into like the psychological thriller and like kind of slightly darker, more total, what's it called? Apocalyptic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's a good book. Touches on a lot of that stuff which is happening now and it's like mean.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, bro. I think we should go into some quickfire questions.
All right.
Let's launch into it. Let me launch into it. All right. First one. What is... I generally use this for musicians, but I'm going to use it for film this time. What is the strangest thing that's happened on a film set?
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't think I've got a story for the strangest thing, but I've definitely got a story for like the funniest thing.
Oh yeah, what's the funniest one?
It was when we were filming for our first film, and then every time we would just forget to turn off the mics. So we had like these clip-on mics that were like Bluetooth, and then the camera person who always had headphones on, she could always just hear like people like talking, and sometimes it was just like the most out of pocket stuff, or sometimes it would just be like them going to the toilet. So yeah, it was definitely something we had to tell them to do, like make sure you turn off your mics, you know, because people can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Are you a Mac or PC?
Mac.
Mac. Fair. We need a bit of editing. What about, are you Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut?
I've personally only used DaVinci.
Yeah,
so I'll say
me
DaVinci.
too, bro.
Yeah,
so good.
and it's free. For
I
the
know,
most part,
it is
unless you do-
amazing that it's free.
Yeah.
I can't believe that it's free.
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve, sponsor me, because honestly, I will pick that up all day. So good. What else we got for film? I know we kind of talked about it before, which about writers being an unappreciated role. What's another film role that you reckon gets underappreciated?
Probably producers.
Producers?
Because like you'll talk about the director, you'll talk about the actors, but like who's the person that actually made the film? You know, the producer.
True.
So I feel like for the most case, definitely the producer, because they have to gather people, they have to sort everything out. So yeah.
What's your advice for somebody who wants to get into film?
Just watch a lot of YouTube videos, read some books. I found like the art of, or like the making of books really like just fun. Yeah.
Sweet. And let's see if I can find one more. What's a must-watch film that everybody should watch, in your opinion? One of the greatest films of all time that everybody should watch.
Gosh. I mean, I can't think of any.
It's too many.
I'd say like, yeah, no, there's a lot. I mean, I think a lot of classics should just be watched. Jaws, Psycho.
Yeah.
The Holy Mountain, I think people should watch.
Okay,
It's
I'll
not for
check that
everyone
out.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like very much look into it. But it's got a lot of it's got a lot of meanings to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, bro. I think that's all the questions I've got. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. You got anything to shout out or promote before you go?
Make sure to follow Unobtrusive Films. That's mostly like we are looking for people to help us. So we'll have like auditions and looking for people to just help on set. So on there. So Unobtrusive Films on Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Great. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you.
And that's been us. Thanks everyone for listening. Bye.